Today's First Alert afternoon weather update is brought to you by Lockhart Roofing.
Good afternoon, First Alert Meteorologist Diane Phillips hanging out with you today. We are going to be updating you on the latest scans on radar. I also have some fun video that we were able to capture in California of the atmospheric river coming through. So we have a few weather extras that you don't want to miss out on. But as we get started today, I do kind of want to set the stage here on what we are experiencing. You'll see here on our Vehicle City Harley-Davidson camera that we do have just the cloud cover, mainly across mid-Michigan. It's been an interesting morning so far. We've been seeing the cooler conditions. We had quite a chilly start this morning, but you are going to find now that the cloud cover is here. Temperatures have been able to warm up, and we are okay with that. So a lot of us, though, are kind of stuck under cloudy skies. I am going to be bringing up our pinpoint Doppler radar. So here you're going to find that we have just a little bit of a break in the clouds coming across Tuscola and also Sanilac counties. We've been seeing maybe a little bit of a break in the clouds for the Tri-Cities, and then coming up a little bit closer towards Clare and Gladwin and kind of in between, but the cloud cover has really kind of just been dominating in the forecast. So we are going to find that that's going to be sticking around because, as you can kind of see here in the frame, we do have some rain and snow showers that are setting up. We've been actually watching blue to be on radar here for much of the morning, and that's been located closer towards I-69 and throughout Gratiot County. So a lot of us haven't really seen too many snowflakes. If you have, let me know where you were at and what you were seeing. But what I'm also finding here is that we have a lot of dry air in place. Our dew points have been sitting into the mid-20s as of late, and what I was first seeing pretty early this morning were dew points right around 20 degrees, and so we have added some moisture. When we see going from about 20 to 25, that means that we have picked up some moisture, but that also means that that dry air is absorbing all of those rain and snow showers as they've been rolling on into mid-Michigan. So we are going to find that we're having to build and kind of add that moisture in. We have to get to saturation before we can really kind of start bringing those snowflakes and raindrops closer towards the ground level. So that's just something that we're going to have to be monitoring, is how much moisture that we're picking up here in the forecast as we go, because we still have a little bit of rain and snow that's sitting off towards our west. So what we're finding right now is that we do have kind of that line. This was fully extended earlier today. Let me bring out our pointer here. So kind of this line was fully extended, but with all the dry air that we had over top, that kind of ate away at those conditions. So that's almost why we're seeing a little bit of a break, even in that secondary line towards Kalamazoo, is because that dry air is trying to even eat away at that second line. What I am still seeing, though, a little bit just south of Ludington, is this rain-snow mixture. So this is still going to be something that I'm monitoring, because even as it's coming off of Lake Michigan, it's still holding together pretty well. We'll see, because of those dew points, still it's fairly dry here in mid-Michigan. So we may find that once this comes off of the water, that it does start to erode away a little bit, very similar to what we saw on the secondary line. But we also have our air temperatures that are a little bit warmer. Current temperatures are currently sitting above freezing. A lot of us are into the mid to upper 30s. Even check out Midland at 41 degrees. I anticipate we got a little bit of sunshine there, and we were able to enjoy seeing those temperatures warm up a little bit better. Actually, one of my closest cameras that I have is in Southern Bay County. So let's see what we have on that one. So you're going to find that we still have some cloud cover. I would say that it's at least slightly brighter than some of our other cameras. So that sunshine kind of helping us out where it can, but it's not full sun by any means. I can at least see a little blue kind of poking through, but overall it really hasn't added up to all that much when we are talking that sunshine. So we'll just kind of keep an eye to those conditions here on radar. But so far I was kind of watching our sensors. I had one round of some snow showers that was coming through Owasso, and I thought, oh, this has a chance to be picked up on radar. And yet when I was looking, it didn't actually get picked up at the sensor. So I couldn't get a good ground reading on if we had some of those snowflakes actually surviving or if those were actually evaporating. Because I can bring up this one graphic to kind of explain how this works. So this will just be talking rain, but it's a very similar concept here. So what we call this is Virga on radar. So is what it shows up as is that we have our clouds that kind of set up. So the precipitation, so the snowflakes, the raindrops, those are sitting up in our cloud. They try to fall down down to the ground. So that's where we have that rain. If we're fully saturated, that rain falls down, it makes it to the ground level. You and I experience it, and then that's kind of that normal setup. But we can, especially here in the winter, we can have some drier air in place, and that's kind of when we have that virga set up. So what happens is that we still have that moisture that leaves the clouds. So we have that precipitation, whether it be rain or snow. That then starts to fall down from the cloud, and then it hits that layer of dry air in the middle. Once it does, it evaporates before it reaches the ground. So those raindrops, those snowflakes, they do exist. We just don't get to see them on our level here at the ground. So it looks like we have a lot of action at times on radar when at the ground level, not a lot is happening. So if you've been like, hey, it shows that it's snowing here, but it's not, well, there could be some dry air that's playing some games with us to where then we can't quite actually pick up on that snow that we would be seeing on radar. So it's one thing to actually see it higher up in the atmosphere when radar scans above, but then actually seeing what's on the ground level too. So there's quite a few differences that can happen. And again, we can see this setup if we have rain or snow, just any sort of precipitation that can come through. So that's what we would be watching for in the forecast. Now we are going to go and take a real quick break before I pull up that hour by hour forecast. So I want you to stick with us. It's only going to be about 1 minute, and then we are going to be back to talk about what we can expect here for the rest of the afternoon. And we are back. So we are going to be finding here in our forecast that we do have kind of that rain and snow chance that we are going to be watching for here. So I'm going to kind of hop right back into the hour by hour forecast. So what we've been seeing is kind of that line that's been setting up. The one thing that's a little bit different from what we have in the model data is the location of this line. So really we don't have it that close coming and kind of sitting here along 96. We're finding that that's a little bit further south and west. So we don't have really kind of that same picture to or forecast to actual data here, but we are going to find kind of going forward is that the models are still picking up on that dry air to be an influencing factor later on today. So we're still going to be keeping some snow showers. That's going to be across Shiawassee, Genesee, Lapeer counties, and even into Gratiot County. Maybe a flurry or two in Mount Pleasant across Isabella, but overall, we are going to see that that dry air is still going to try to win the day here today. So we are going to continue, though, to kind of keep an eye that it may not just be snow showers that make it through. We still could have some raindrops that are able to survive. But even as we go around 4, and I'll kind of bump this ahead to 5 o'clock, we still could have some snow showers setting up along I-69. And so I still am mindful for the evening commute, but considering at 5 o'clock, the sun is going to be going down. We'll have to watch for changing road conditions, but also the intensity of any snow showers that can exist. So there's just a lot of nowcasting that's going to have to happen. But what I am expecting here for the evening commute is not a lot of road impacts. Ground temperatures are above freezing. We're not looking at intense snowfall rates with this, and also it's scattered. The dry air is trying to eat it all up. So we are going to find that we have a lot of things that are working against us to try to get some of the snow going. So I really don't anticipate that we're going to be needing shovels by any means. A lot of us are probably just going to have that commute that's going to be just fine. And another thing I want to point out is that the further north that you are, about the Tri-Cities north, if you're into the thumb, a lot of you are not even going to be seeing any snow flurries at all. So it's very much kind of the southern half, as the center of the storm is well off towards our south. We're just kind of on the northern edge, and that's just making it in to the vehicle city in central Michigan. So we are going to find that we still have the chance for some wet weather locally, but it's not everybody who has that chance. We will start to have those snow showers move out a little bit after dinner, even before bedtime. So here we are at 11 o'clock. We're actually starting to clear some of the clouds out. out. So I have decreasing clouds in for tonight's forecast, but we will find that we do still have a few clouds coming off of Lake Huron for the thumb tomorrow morning, but plan on seeing a little more sunshine rather than cloud cover on Wednesday. It's going to be a nice day. I have some dry weather. The one thing is, though, is that the clouds do want to build back in for us going into the afternoon. So we will find that we are going to be looking at, most of us, some sunglasses weather, but it will start to cloud up a little bit as we go deeper into the day. I will actually bring up our cloud tracker for tomorrow because this paints a pretty good picture of what we can expect on Wednesday. You can see that we start out with those bright yellow colors. Our cloud percentages are pretty low. We're talking about 20% at best, but then the later we go towards the day and get around dinner time, then we're talking about 70 to 80% of our skies to have clouds in them. So that's really going to start to kind of eat away at that sunshine. So we will also find, though, around that time frame that the sun has set, because our sunset tonight is going to be just a few minutes after 5 o'clock. So we are definitely losing that daylight. Of course, we will start to gain back some time starting next month. We're actually almost a month away from the winter solstice. So kind of keep an eye to those conditions here. It's just a little while longer that it's going to be feeling these short days. I do want to bring up our snow predictor because there's still not a lot of action here. There's not a lot to say considering we have a lot of zeros. So as I mentioned, some of the factors that are kind of going into this forecast is our ground temperatures are warm. We also have dry air that's eating up this system. So there may not be a lot that even falls from the sky anyway. And with those air temperatures that are above freezing and ground temperatures, it may even fall as rain. So there's just those three things that are really kind of hurting us as far as building up any snow and kind of stacking it up. We still could have some light dusting, so keep in mind maybe some bridges and overpasses or cool grassy surfaces might be a little bit problematic, but overall I'm not anticipating to have too many issues on local roadways. Another thing that's going on, though, is rifle deer hunting season. So for folks who were out there this morning, it was pretty chilly. Hopefully our hunters had their orange jackets on. But if you're looking to maybe still go out for a little more time out in the tree stand, you will see Wednesday and Thursday that we do have some dry hours. Wednesday, that's a completely dry day. But going into Thursday, I've been watching this low pressure system. And so I kind of fine-tuned the timing this morning in the forecast to where Thursday, I have that rainfall coming in the evening, and then that'll last a little bit during the night and going into Friday morning. It's still not a strong chance, but it is still kind of hanging around. I wasn't able to take it completely out of the forecast, but it's not nearly as strong as what it once was showing. So that's just something that we're going to be monitoring in the forecast. Now, I am going to take yet another quick break just because we still have to talk about, that 7-day forecast. I don't want to toss you to break just yet, but we still have that 7-day forecast to discuss. And also you are going to want to see some of this cool weather video that I was able to capture out of California. So we are going to take that quick 60-second break, and then we'll be right back in just a moment. All right, so we are back, and I do want to start with some of that fun video that we captured. So we did have an atmospheric river come through portions of California. So of course that's going to get a lot of that terrain moving. We will be back to our local forecast, but considering that we do have some exciting conditions here in California just because of all that rainfall, can you imagine being trapped in the mud? Some of the details that were shared with the video is that they had some heavy rains that were coming across the Coachella Valley area. So they've been working through flooding, mudslides, and obviously some road closures. So a lot of folks have been under some safety warnings. Law enforcement and emergency officials have really kind of been working to help people out here. And the flooding and the mudslides have trapped some drivers. And that's around the Cathedral City location. So they were kind of stuck there with that heavy mud sliding through. Crews, they were able to get some tow equipment and some bulldozers and remove those trapped vehicles. But can you imagine just kind of driving through? Of course, we are no strangers to driving through some snow, but getting stuck in the mud and stuck in the snow are definitely two different things. So it's kind of like the game in school, playing stuck in the mud, except we're playing it with our cars this time around. But even though it was maybe not a great day for some of those folks, we still found that for others it wasn't too bad because they had a rainbow, and that was really quite nice for them to be able to see here. So we had that rainfall. This was captured actually yesterday at the CBS affiliate in Sacramento. And the rain was fairly light, so it did allow for that rainbow to come through. So again, this is because of that atmospheric river. The bright rainbow colors, they were shining really nice and bright there. You can see against the clouds. So kind of a fun setup, always nice to see something nice there. So yeah, just kind of taking in that look. So it's always kind of nice to see. We don't pick up just because we don't get a ton of rainfall here at the end of the year, but it's always kind of interesting to see some of those weather phenomenon. So as we start to wrap up our live stream, I do want to share with you our low temperatures for tonight because it is going to be chilly once again. It was a little bit cooler last night, to say the least. We bottomed down into the teens and 20s this morning, and we'll have a pretty similar setup for us tomorrow morning. You're going to find that our numbers are going to be into the upper teens for our northern communities. Gladwin about 19, same for West Branch, 18, 19 degrees in Houghton Lake, and then just kind of holding on to those mid-20s throughout the Tri-Cities, the thumb. So be mindful that we are going to have some cooler air with the sky conditions clearing up. That's going to allow those numbers to drop for us. So just be prepared to have those heated blankets. I know a lot of you say, oh, I have my blanket going. So you may want to have that up and running once again tonight. A full look at that 7-day forecast. We are going to soon be wrapping up on those rain and snow shower chances again. That's going to be shortly after dinner. Wednesday is a dry one, but we will have that sunshine, sadly, kind of getting blocked out a little bit with some cloud cover later into the day. Now into Thursday, this is when we were watching our first low pressure system, but instead it looks like high pressure is coming in. It's kind of weakening that storm that we were watching for late this week. So we just have a few showers that are possible Thursday evening, and then that kind of lasts overnight going into Friday morning. So I was almost tempted when I was forecasting kind of bring that percentage down a little bit because our rain chances are not holding as strong as what they once were. So we may still make some changes kind of going into that time frame. The good news is that the rainfall should wrap up on Friday morning. So there's a lot of local events that are going on in Saginaw. It's holidays in the heart of the city. I know Midland has a lot of holiday events that are going on this weekend. Actually, both communities have their parades that are going on Saturday. And even if you're willing to do a road trip, Friday night in Lansing, it's Silver Bells in the city, so that's when they'll be lighting the state Christmas tree. So if you're gonna want to head to that, that's also happening Friday evening. So there's a lot of holiday activities that are going on in the next couple of days. So I'm happy to see that Friday night has been able to dry out in the forecast, and then Saturday and Sunday are also looking dry and also mild. That's something to consider, considering some of these markets you're just running in and you just have your Christmas sweater on. So it is going to be a little bit warmer, maybe just holiday t-shirts going into the weekend, because highs are going to be into the mid to upper 40s. I was even able to go with 50 degrees on Monday. So we will see if that can hold here in the next 7 days while we're putting this forecast together. But The forecast also does go quiet. Our weekend is dry. We'll have some sun, some clouds, and even going into Monday, that also seems to hold into the forecast. So we have a nice stretch of weather. We just have a little more rainfall to get through, and then we'll be working our way to the weekend so that we can have some of the holiday fun that's going to be coming on through. But I do appreciate all of you joining me today. First Alert Chief Meteorologist Chris Eastlick is going to be here at the desk at 9 o'clock tonight, so he will have another check of that 7-day forecast. Of course, it'll be updated with Tuesday will be added on there by then. So make sure you join him tonight at 9 o'clock. And then, of course, we will be back tomorrow to be discussing that Wednesday forecast. But have a great afternoon. Thank you so much for joining me, and we'll see you then.
Thank you for joining us. Today's stream has been brought to you by Lockhart Roofing.